A tornado has ripped through Wynwood, Oklahoma in the US, leaving 2 dead and destroying several homes.
Australian storm chaser Justin Noonan joins us now live by phone from the area. Justin, good to talk to you this afternoon. You were there in Wynwood, only 300 metres from the tornado. You've driven to Texas now. What was it like?
Yeah, it was very surreal. We had what we basically call a thunderstorm updraft, went up and dropped a tornado within 15 minutes, so very quickly. And it became clear very early this tornado was going to be quite violent, and it tracked straight at us and crossed the road about 200 to 300 metres in front of us, and unfortunately went through a whole bunch of homes just the other side of the road.
We're seeing these pictures. Incredible. Houses have been destroyed, 2 people have died. Was there a moment that you thought, you know what, we're actually in danger here?
Generally no. However, once the tornado did cross the road, it started to move fractionally north, and it sort of gets the heart fluttering a little bit to the point where you get ready to move very quickly in that state.
Hey Justin, you are a professional storm chaser. You see this stuff all the time. How is this storm different to the others you've seen in the past?
Yeah, that's a very good question. This storm was really intensified very, very rapidly, something I haven't witnessed for a long time. That intensity that quickly to drop a tornado is very, very significant. And today it was a very volatile day, and it came together very, very quickly right over the port down. And being that close and hearing the roar like a really big cascading waterfall, that was really surreal. There was 100-foot trees being tossed around everywhere, and they're actually tossed onto the highway. Quite scary. It was a very violent tornado.
You talk about it happening very quickly. How do the locals then prepare for a storm like this if it is happening so quickly?
Yeah, well, generally the Storm Prediction Centre over here in Oklahoma, particularly on a day like today, they do give you quite a good warning system as to what's coming, what to expect. And then throughout the day, as soon as there's any sort of rotation detected on radar, they will send out warnings that are quite appropriate, whether it be a storm, tornado emergency, as it was in this case. They are pretty well prepared. However, you do still see some people just hanging around looking at the clouds while it's literally coming straight at their face.
Yeah, it does seem obvious that the technology when it comes to predicting these storms and when they're going to occur and whereabouts is very good these days. Hey Justin, is it too early to get an idea of the cost of the damage that you saw this morning?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. You just don't know what type of structures were hit. There was actually a little bit of an outbreak today. There was quite a lot of tornadic supercells around that dropped tornadoes. Not too sure whether or not any of those impacted any towns or buildings at all. It is very difficult to gauge as to what type of damage it may have done, but for some of the photos I have seen, there is some fairly significant damage done.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad. Justin, thank you for joining us this afternoon, having a chat with us, and stay safe. Yeah, absolutely. We've got with us now 7 News meteorologist David Brown. Brownie, good to have you with us. What is it that causes these storm systems?
As Justin mentioned, Sally, you require a supercell thunderstorm. Now, that is a severe thunderstorm. We get the odd severe storm like that here in New South Wales. Thankfully, most of them aren't as intense as what we're looking at now. That's basically the top end of these supercell storms. It's when you've got very, very cold air in the middle part of the atmosphere and lots of warm, moist air down in the lower part of the atmosphere. The trigger here is a front that's been sweeping across the state, been spawning a lot of, severe storms and the odd twister. And of course, the US, thankfully, well, for us anyway, is unique as far as this sort of weather goes.
Brownie, why is it that some areas get so hard hit? You know, the impact on those sites is just incredible. Is it because the topography is very flat? It's a flat land?
Spot on, Tom. The United States is unique as far as topography goes in fueling these violent storms. If you can imagine a map of America, we're looking down now towards Mexico. You've got the Mexican Gulf there. That's very warm, moist air. It's where the Gulf Stream originates from, pushes all the way up towards England. The water there is so moist, so the air in contact is extremely humid, more humid than what we actually get here in Australia. And then they've got that spine of mountains that go through the US all the way to Canada, the Rocky Mountains. So when you get your cold outbreak happening during a storm event, you get cold air from the north surging in, it hits the Rocky Mountains, it's injected into the middle part of the atmosphere, and that basically produces the ideal environment for violent storms, and that's why the US is so unique.
Is it possible that we would ever have anything like that in Australia?
We do get the odd twisters, Sally, from time to time. In fact, I'm just thinking back, we had one about 2 years ago that went through Perth. Now, Perth's storm seasons, well, now it's during the winter months. They had 2 people lost their lives in that storm. The most powerful storm, I think, from memory, southeast corner of Queensland around Bundaberg, it was an F3. What does that mean? Winds in excess of 200 kilometres per hour.
Yeah. Oh, Brownie, South Australia and Victoria have been hit very hard over the last couple of days and nights with some serious